Hi artists. Today you're going to get a special paper for Art to Remember. This is the only paper we can give you, so you need to draw light until you get it right. Okay, you need to be able to erase and not have pencil marks gouged into your paper. So in order to start, we are going to have you pick 3 planet sizes to include in your project. Now we have lots of different sizes. We have large, medium, small, and we're asking you to choose 3. Let's say that you want one of each, large, medium, and small. You can do that. Or maybe you want 2 large and 1 small. You don't need to take 2 of these papers. You can just use 1 and trace it twice. So take what you need based on what you want. Okay, even if you just took one of these, you could do all 3 of your planets large. It's up to you, but just take what you need based on what you want. All right, so then when you have your paper ready to go, and you have, I'll do a small, medium, and large for my example, you can actually start to plan out your composition. I know it's a little hard to see, but if you look really carefully, I'll zoom it in, you can actually see the lines right behind the paper, and you can trace if you want. So just to make making a perfect circle a little easier. Now, as we mentioned, we want you to start thinking about composition, which means the placement of objects in your artwork. So we talked a little bit about balance, maybe even a little bit about harmony. So how are we going to make this balance so that it flows nicely and leads the viewer's eye nicely around my paper? I think something like this would be really cool. Remember, you're allowed to have circles that fall off edges, and you are also allowed to overlap. That's a little more tricky to show with the papers like this, but you can do some that are overlapping. You just wouldn't draw one of these areas in between, okay? So one last thing, you are more than welcome to draw your own circles. You do not have to trace with ours. It's just something we thought you might be interested in. All right, so I'm gonna get started on mine. Remember, we are having you draw lightly with pencil first until you get it exactly how you want it. Now, I realize there's a big empty space here. You might be thinking, Mrs. Eaton, that doesn't look very balanced. But the reason why I believe it's balanced is because we have 2 bigger planets up here, which is balanced out by this one all by itself at the bottom. And then play around with your composition. See if you like it better in one direction or one way. I actually kind of like it better facing this way. I think it leads the viewer's eye nicely in a triangle around my artwork. So from there, you cannot just have planets for your out of this world project. We're asking you to include a couple of different things. So we provided you with an idea sheet, which this will be posted up on the board. And there's just a few ideas. There's different things like stars, planets with rings, rocket ships, astronaut, alien ships or an alien. And then there's even something silly up in the corner just to remind you that this is your art. You're allowed to have things that are impossible if you want, right? So we also are going to provide you with some planets that you can look at to get some inspiration for when you're coloring, or maybe you can start to map out ideas. So from here, you would start to add in all of your extras. Maybe if you want to start to get ideas for your planets, light, very lightly, you could start to add in like where your big swirls are going to happen. Remember, we're going to be, well, maybe you don't know this, but we're going to be using washable markers to make these look like they're watercolor created. So we need to draw very light in here. Then, when you've drawn everything, you have your stars, you're done with your alien, you're done with your astronaut. When you're done with everything and you're happy with the way it looks, it's time to switch to Sharpie. Okay, so you're going to go over and trace all of your artwork, all of your pencil lines with Sharpie. All right, good luck, artists.